In a small town, there was a seemingly ordinary house with an unsettling secret. The new residents, John and Sarah, moved in with their young daughter, Emily, excited about their fresh start. Their next-door neighbor, Mr. Thompson, appeared friendly and helpful, always offering a warm smile. However, as the days passed, strange occurrences began to unfold. Late one night, John heard muffled sounds coming from the wall adjoining Mr. Thompson's house. He dismissed it as mere creaks and settled back to sleep. But the noises persisted, growing louder and more distinct. John decided to investigate, following the sound to the basement. To his horror, John discovered a hidden room that connected their basement to Mr. Thompson's. The room was filled with disturbing photographs and newspaper clippings, all pointing to a series of unsolved disappearances in the town. John's heart raced as he realized the truth. Their friendly neighbor was a serial killer. Fear gripped their family as they realized they were living next to a monster. They couldn't go to the police without solid evidence, so they began documenting every suspicious movement from Mr. Thompson's house. They installed security cameras and kept a watchful eye on him. Days turned into weeks, and the evidence against Mr. Thompson mounted. John and Sarah shared their findings with the police, who launched a thorough investigation. It was discovered that Mr. Thompson had been luring unsuspecting victims to his house, capturing and torturing them in the hidden room before disposing of their bodies. The news sent shockwaves through the community. Their once tranquil neighborhood was shattered by the revelation of the horrors that had unfolded right under their noses. The entire town lived in fear, questioning the true nature of their own neighbors. Mr. Thompson was eventually arrested and brought to justice, but the scars on John, Sarah, and Emily's lives were deep. They moved away, seeking solace in a new place, far from the haunting memories of their disturbing neighbor. In a quiet suburban neighborhood, there lived a young couple, Mark and Lisa, who had recently moved into their new home. Everything seemed perfect until they started hearing strange laughter late at night, coming from their neighbor's house. The laughter was unnerving, echoing through the walls and sending shivers down their spines. Curiosity got the better of Mark, and one evening he decided to investigate. He approached his neighbor, Mr. Anderson, to inquire about the laughter. To his surprise, Mr. Anderson denied hearing any laughter and seemed genuinely confused by Mark's concern. The laughter continued, growing louder and more unsettling each night. Mark and Lisa's nerves frayed as they struggled to sleep, haunted by the eerie sound. They reached out to other neighbors, who claimed they couldn't hear a thing. Mark and Lisa began to question their own sanity. Determined to uncover the truth, Mark set up audio recording devices around their house. The following morning, as they listened to the recorded sounds, their blood ran cold. The laughter was captured, clear as day, but there was something off about it. It was not the laughter of a human. It was a sinister, otherworldly cackle. Mark and Lisa sought the help of a paranormal investigator, desperate to rid themselves of the haunting laughter. With his expertise, they delved into the history of their neighborhood, uncovering a dark secret. Decades ago, a deranged individual had lived in Mr. Anderson's house, tormenting and terrorizing the residents. The laughter they heard was believed to be the residual energy of that disturbed soul. As the paranormal investigation progressed, the activity in their house escalated. Objects moved on their own, shadowy figures appeared in the corners of their vision, and an oppressive atmosphere surrounded them. The couple was trapped in a nightmare, unable to escape the clutches of the haunting laughter. With the help of the paranormal investigator, they performed a cleansing ritual to banish the malevolent presence. The laughter gradually subsided, and peace returned to their home. However, the memory of that horrifying experience would forever haunt Mark and Lisa, serving as a chilling reminder of the dark forces that can reside behind the walls of an unsuspecting neighbor. In a suburban town, there was a tight-knit community where everyone knew their neighbors. Sarah and David were a young couple who had recently moved into the area, eager to start their new life. They were welcomed warmly by their neighbors, the Wilsons, a seemingly friendly and hospitable couple. As weeks passed, Sarah and David noticed something peculiar about the Wilsons. They always seemed overly interested in their activities, asking intrusive questions about their daily routines and personal lives. Initially, they brushed it off as mere curiosity, but soon the Wilsons' behavior took a dark turn. Late one evening, Sarah found an envelope slipped under their front door. Inside, there was an invitation to a gathering hosted by the Wilsons. The invitation had an eerie tone, urging them to attend for a night they would never forget. Sarah's instincts screamed at danger, but curiosity got the better of them. Reluctantly, they decided to attend the gathering, hoping to uncover the truth behind the Wilsons' unsettling behavior. They arrived at the Wilsons' house, a grand mansion that seemed out of place in the neighborhood. As they entered, they were greeted by an atmosphere that sent chills down their spines. The Wilsons' gathering was unlike anything Sarah and David had ever experienced. The guests wore masks, concealing their identities, and engaged in strange and disturbing rituals. The air was thick with an ominous energy, and Sarah sensed they were in grave danger. In a panic, they attempted to leave, but the Wilsons and their guests blocked their path, revealing their true intentions. The Wilsons were part of a secret society, indulging in dark and twisted practices. They had targeted Sarah and David as their next victims, intending to sacrifice them for their own sinister purposes. Frantic and terrified, Sarah and David fought for their lives, desperately trying to escape the clutches of their neighbors. In the chaos that ensued, they managed to break free and ran through the maze-like corridors of the mansion, pursued by the deranged members of the secret society. With every breath, Sarah and David pushed themselves to the limit, determined to survive. They stumbled upon a hidden passage that led them to safety, leaving the horrors of the Wilsons' mansion behind. They reported the incident to the authorities, but the secret society had vanished, leaving no trace of their presence. Sarah and David moved far away from that neighborhood, haunted by the chilling memories of their disturbing neighbors. The experience served as a chilling reminder that evil can lurk behind the most familiar faces, and that sometimes the price of curiosity can be dangerously high. In a quaint suburban neighborhood, there was a house that stood out from the rest. The residents, Adam and Emily, had always been an enigmatic couple, seldom seen outside their home. Their neighbors couldn't help but wonder what secrets lay behind their closed doors. One evening, as the sun set and darkness enveloped the neighborhood, a young girl named Lily went missing. Panic spread through the community as search parties scoured the area, hoping to find any trace of the missing child. Days turned into weeks, and hope began to fade. During this unsettling time, rumors started circulating about Adam and Emily. Some claimed they had seen strange shadows moving within their house at odd hours of the night. Others spoke of eerie whispers carried by the wind, suggesting that something sinister was afoot. Samantha, a curious and determined neighbor, decided to investigate further. Under the cover of darkness, she approached Adam and Emily's house, peering through the windows. What she witnessed had sent shivers down her spine. A room filled with arcane symbols, candles, and peculiar artifacts. Driven by a mix of fear and curiosity, Samantha delved deeper into the mystery. She reached out to a local historian, who revealed a dark history associated with Adam and Emily's house. It was said to be a place of occult practices, where rituals of a sinister nature had taken place in the past. As Samantha unraveled the secrets of the house, she discovered a hidden cellar beneath it. The cellar was a chilling chamber filled with ancient texts on forbidden knowledge and macabre artifacts. Samantha's heart raced with a mix of trepidation and fascination. Determined to find answers, Samantha continued her investigation, unaware that she was being watched. One evening, as she ventured into the cellar, a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness. It was Emily, her eyes filled with madness. Samantha realized she had stumbled upon something far more dangerous than she had anticipated. Emily revealed herself as a practitioner of dark arts, with a thirst for power and immortality. Samantha found herself trapped at the mercy of Emily's malevolent intentions. She became a pawn in a game of shadows, where her life hung in the balance. In a desperate bid to escape, Samantha used her wit and resourcefulness. She found a hidden passage that led to freedom, narrowly evading Emily's grasp. Samantha reported her findings to the authorities, but when they arrived at Adam and Emily's house, it was empty, devoid of any evidence of their dark activities. The neighborhood was forever changed by the events that unfolded. The disappearance of Lily remained a mystery, and the lingering fear of what lay hidden behind closed doors haunted the residents. It served as a chilling reminder that evil can reside just steps away, concealed within the facade of a seemingly ordinary neighbor. In a quiet suburban neighborhood, there was a house that stood abandoned for years. Locals whispered stories about its dark past, claiming that it was haunted and cursed. One family, the Parkers, decided to move into the house, determined to embrace a fresh start and dismiss the rumors. As the Parkers settled into their new home, strange occurrences began to unfold. They would hear disembodied whispers in the dead of night, echoing through the empty halls. Objects would move on their own, and a pervasive sense of unease hung in the air. It seemed that the stories of the house's haunting were not mere legends. Their next-door neighbor, Mrs. Jenkins, an elderly woman with a troubled past, seemed to have an uncanny knowledge of the house's history. She approached the Parkers one day, warning them about the malevolent presence that dwelled within. She recounted a tale of a family that had once lived there, their lives tragically cut short by an unspeakable evil. Intrigued and disturbed, the Parkers researched the house's history, unearthing a horrifying truth. The previous occupants had indeed met a gruesome fate within those very walls. Their deaths were shrouded in mystery, and the house had gained a reputation for driving its inhabitants to madness or worse. As the days turned into weeks, the paranormal activity in the house escalated. The whispers grew louder, morphing into agonized screams that reverberated through the rooms. Shadows danced along the walls, taking sinister forms. The Parkers felt trapped in a nightmare they couldn't escape. Desperate for answers and relief, they sought the help of a renowned paranormal investigator. Together, they delved deeper into the history of the house, unearthing dark rituals and a connection to a forgotten cult. It appeared that the house had become a portal to an otherworldly realm, attracting malevolent entities seeking to cross over. In a final attempt to rid themselves of the haunting, the Parkers and the investigator performed a harrowing ritual to seal the portal. The house shook with fury as the entities fought to maintain their grip on the mortal realm. But in the end, the forces of light prevailed, and a semblance of calm returned to the house. The Parkers moved away, forever scarred by their nightmarish experience. They left behind a house tainted by darkness, a testament to the horrors that lay hidden within the most unassuming homes. To this day, the whispers and echoes of that cursed place serve as a chilling reminder of the evil that can lurk next door. In a picturesque neighborhood nestled among well-manicured lawns and blooming gardens, there was a house that stood out. It had been vacant for years, its windows boarded up, and its once vibrant exterior faded and worn. The neighbors whispered about the mysterious owner, who had vanished without a trace. One day, a young couple named Mark and Rachel moved into the house next door. Excitement filled their hearts as they envisioned creating a cozy home for themselves. Little did they know that their dreams would soon be shattered by the unseen tenant dwelling within the abandoned house. From the moment they moved in, strange occurrences plagued Mark and Rachel. They would hear faint footsteps in the dead of night, as if someone was tiptoeing through the vacant rooms next door. Lights flickered, doors creaked open, and a feeling of being constantly watched settled upon them. Curiosity and concern led Mark to investigate the abandoned house. Armed with a flashlight, he ventured through the overgrown yard and made his way inside. What he discovered within those decaying walls sent chills down his spine. A hidden room, adorned with disturbing symbols and remnants of occult rituals. As Mark delved deeper into the house's history, he uncovered a dark secret. The previous owner had been involved in a cult, conducting unspeakable acts within the confines of the house. The rituals had gone awry, resulting in the owner's disappearance and the unleashing of a malevolent force that now haunted the property. The unseen tenant grew increasingly restless, exerting its influence on Mark and Rachel's lives. Objects would move on their own. Ominous whispers filled their dreams. Their once loving relationship became strained under the weight of unexplained terrors. The couple felt trapped in a nightmare they couldn't escape. Desperate for a solution, Mark sought the help of a renowned paranormal investigator. Together, they embarked on a perilous journey to banish the malevolent force from their lives. Armed with ancient rituals and protective talismans, they confronted the unseen tenant head-on, determined to restore peace to the neighborhood. The battle against the unseen tenant was fierce and terrifying. The walls of the house seemed to come alive, shifting and contorting as the force fought to maintain its hold. But Mark and the investigator persevered, their resilience fueled by their love for Rachel and their determination to reclaim their home. In a climactic showdown, they succeeded in binding the malevolent force and banishing it from the abandoned house. The neighborhood breathed a collective sigh of relief as the once dreaded property regained a sense of tranquility. Mark and Rachel, forever changed by their ordeal, moved away, leaving the abandoned house behind. They carried with them the scars of their encounter with the unseen tenant, a chilling reminder that evil can lurk unnoticed, even within the closest proximity. In a peaceful suburban neighborhood, there was a house that stood out, a dilapidated Victorian mansion with an eerie aura. The locals knew it as the House of the Silent Dolls, for its windows were adorned with countless dolls, all with their mouths sewn shut. The story behind this disturbing spectacle remained shrouded in mystery. The house had a new neighbor, a young woman named Sarah. Intrigued by the enigmatic dwelling, she moved in, determined to unravel its secrets. But little did she know that her curiosity would plunge her into a nightmare she couldn't escape. As Sarah settled into her new home, she couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The dolls in the neighboring house seemed to follow her with their empty eyes, their silent mouths invoking an inexplicable dread. Nights were the worst, as whispers echoed through the halls, accompanied by the soft sound of porcelain limbs moving. Driven by a mix of fear and fascination, Sarah delved into the history of the House of the Silent Dolls. She discovered that the previous owner, a reclusive doll maker, had been rumored to possess a dark power, an ability to infuse life into his creations. But his obsession had consumed him, and he had vanished, leaving behind a house filled with his eerie dolls. As Sarah explored the house, she stumbled upon a hidden room, its walls lined with shelves displaying a macabre collection of dolls. And there, at the center of the room, stood a life-size doll, a hauntingly realistic replica of herself. The resemblance was uncanny, down to the smallest detail. Terrified and bewildered, Sarah tried to leave the room, but the door slammed shut, trapping her inside. The doll's eyes flickered to life, its lips parting as it whispered her name. Sarah's heart raced as she realized that the doll was a vessel, possessed by the spirit of the doll maker himself. The doll maker's spirit revealed his twisted desire to transfer Sarah's soul into the doll, trapping her forever. Sarah fought back, desperately seeking a way to escape the clutches of the malevolent doll maker. She discovered a hidden journal that detailed a ritual to sever the connection between the doll maker's spirit and his creations. With time running out, Sarah performed the ritual, calling upon ancient forces to break the doll maker's hold. The house trembled, and an ethereal light enveloped the room. In a final act of defiance, the doll maker's spirit was banished, and Sarah found herself free from his grasp. She fled the house, leaving behind the dolls and the dark legacy that had plagued her. The House of the Silent Dolls stood as a chilling reminder of the horrors that can lurk within the most unassuming homes. Sarah, forever scarred by her ordeal, hoped that others would heed her warning and resist the temptation to uncover the secrets of the House of the Silent Dolls.